Back at it again with that 2021 season preview. This time we're talking NFC North. This would have been a whole other conversation except Mr. Rodgers decided to play this year. So I think there's one team that's going to be leading the pack. Like, share, subscribe. It's Nickel and Dime. Did you see, Shawn? We had football on TV.
On the TV. You love to see it. You love to see
Love
it.
it.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
We're going to keep going with our 2021 season previews. We're talking NFC North this week.
Right.
But we had football, so we got to talk about it. So let's hit some housekeeping notes.
All right. Let's get right into it, man. Let's do it.
Any takeaways? Any takeaways from the first preseason game? I know it's preseason, but hey, we're seeing some players on the field. That's all that matters.
I mean, I just really enjoyed it, man. I just enjoyed having football, and I think the coaches put out there what they wanted to put out there, and that's why you really saw all the rookies be in favorable situations. And I think all of them managed it pretty well, considering. So, It's the first week of preseason. There was some good football by the ones. A lot of bad football by the 3s and 4s, though. A lot of bad football.
Panthers 3s looked rough. Well, let me ask you, because I think all of the rookie quarterbacks, like you said, did very well.
Right.
I think we all can agree the general consensus is Justin Fields had the best day if we got to rank them.
Okay.
But
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Would you agree that Fields had the best of the days?
Yeah.
Okay. So minus Fields, which quarterback, if you were their fan base, would you be the most excited about?
Good question. Mac did a lot of good. Mac had some good moments. You know what I mean?
Mac and cheese looked good.
Yeah. So I would probably be excited, especially Patriots fans want to be excited about Mac Jones. You know what I mean? They want that. So that just fits right into the narrative. I would go Patriots fans. I go Pats fans.
I like it. I would agree with you. I think Mac Jones did a phenomenal job. You didn't see a lot of people play, but you still saw some teams that are having some QB battles. I know that it's Fitzpatrick's job in Washington, but I'm pulling for Heineke because I like that dude, and he showed me something in the playoffs last year. He scored a touchdown. Fitzpatrick didn't.
He did, but was he playing against superior talent, though? That's when did he come in the game? That's what I need to know in order to.
It was after 2 series.
Right, make my decision on that. That's all I'm saying. It already makes me want to get to the season because you're only seeing these guys, Drew, for bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying? One drive here, half a drive there. If he takes a good shot, you pulling him out. We're not getting what we really want to see, and that's why the preseason and the first week of the season, all bets are off. You know what I'm saying? That's usually when you see teams that are garbage at the end of the season get dubs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we have one coming up in this episode here with one of the teams in this division. Stay tuned. Like and subscribe, man.
I like it, man. Another little highlight, one of the rookie quarterbacks that isn't in, they talk about this draft class that could be somebody someday. Franks. Do you remember him? He played for Florida for a few years.
Felipe Franks?
Some really good years.
Yeah.
Well, he went to Arkansas, and then he got drafted by the Falcons. And my man looked pretty good. Like you said, competition, who was he really playing against? But that 52-yard run looked pretty nice.
It did. And maybe he's a guy who is going to benefit more from pro coaching. Like sometimes you just don't hit your ceiling for whatever reason in college. You go to the pros and you have better coaches. Like stop giving bad coaches credit for credit that they don't deserve when they misuse talent. You know what I'm saying? Like you got that. It just is what it is. So I like what I saw. I want to see, and I think Atlanta fans, more importantly, want to see them have a bona fide backup with Matt Ryan getting to the end of his career, Drew. It only bodes well for them to have a bona fide backup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we thought maybe they would be in the market for one of these shiny, rookie quarterbacks, and they were, just not what we thought early on.
Right. Yeah.
I was going to say the only other highlights note that I took down was Joe Flacco throwing that 79-yard touchdown pass, but Mr. Quez Watkins,
right,
doing all
the
work.
Right, yeah, we got to get a man where it's due, because Quez did all the work for Joe Flacco to have the stat. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go down as a 79-yard pass TD or whatever it was, but that was a run play. Now I'll give Flacco credit; he threw the laser on the pass to the flat on the screen, but Quez Watkins did all that work. Get that man his due. Southern Miss in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wouldn't you be excited if you're a Philly fan? Because y'all need a wide receiver to step up, and it's your sixth rounder.
Yeah,
and it's your sixth rounder.
Yeah, that you do. That's all I'm gonna say. Listen, bro, I want the Eagles to be better. We both actually predicted them to not be very good. So any plus that they get is just making us look bad, but I don't really think that it's gonna matter. I think y'all are still gonna suck anyway. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be better than expected, but not a season changer. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, there's a lot of people predicting the Eagles to be bad, so it only makes better for the intrigue of the season if they aren't bad, though, because Philly fans gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of
in-house Philly fans gonna talk.
Right. Yeah, I kind of want to see that. I want to see that from them. I want them to get a little arrogant because they've been quiet since 2018. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, talking about quiet, a hush has fallen over Baltimore because their prized new wide receiver is out with groin surgery, out till September sometime. They didn't even say a week 1, week 5. They just said September ish.
Yeah. The good news is any good news that they get just means he's going to come back earlier, but that's exactly what they didn't need. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about that, but hopefully he gets better, comes back and balls out, because I imagine a lot of the offense is going to be centered around getting that man the ball. So
they had a wide receiver for a change. I was hoping they were going to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bears have added veteran offensive tackle Jason Peters. A little backup
we're gonna talk about it
to keep Fields safe.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. I don't want to give it away, but I did notice that, and we gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
Well, a couple of backups are hurt. I'm sure we'll talk about Mr. Jordan Love getting shut down with the Packers. This whole preseason was designed for him, and now he's not going to play. But the Ravens also lose cult favorite McSorley. He's out with some back injuries.
Really?
People love that dude in Baltimore.
I did not know that. I did not know that. Where the Trace McSorley truthers?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of hype in college, bro. He had a lot of hype there at Penn State, and I'm a Penn State dude. I love me some Penn State football, but I think some people might say they could have did more things with a better quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, he's made quite the career for himself backing up Mr. Jackson. You remember the run to the locker room game?
Oh,
when he
wow.
Was hurt,
Yeah. Hey, he did what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
Yeah.
Well, last little note I got, just not even really football related, just fun. Pat Mahomes is releasing his signature shoe through Adidas.
Ooh.
Oh, Adidas
all right.
animal shoe.
Okay, so what I want to see, this is like, and I guess this is more of a take on a take here, but all I'm saying, Drew, is look, if this man is getting a shoe, make the shoe hot. Like, I'm sorry. Like, make your shoe wearable. Like, you want to be able to ball in it and you want to be able to wear it on the street or when you go out. That's all I'm saying. That's what Jordan figured out that people have not figured out with the signature shoe. I don't understand. Like, there's
it's a fashion statement,
but
you also can go ball in it.
Exactly. You want both. If you don't have both in your signature shoe, it's garbage. Like, it's only going to meet a ceiling of so much. You know what I'm saying? If you make, like, I don't want there to be a category of basketball or sports shoe and lifestyle shoe. I want both. That's what Jordans are. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, let me get off my high horse.
No, I just want to know, right now, do you think it's going to be a hit or a miss?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be a hit because Adidas is like, they've been on the come up for a while though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm a Nike guy myself, but we
rock with that boat together because I'm also, I'm a Nike man too. You know what I'm saying? But Adidas, low key, man. Oh, let me not hit the mic. I'm getting hype over here. But Adidas coming up. Stick to football, you idiots. Fuck you.
He's okay, guys. He's okay. It's all right. All right, well, let's get into this division, man, because there's a lot to talk about, a lot up in the air. We don't know how some things are going to play out. We do know that Aaron Rodgers is back in the division. We do know that the other teams are probably not as positive in their quarterbacks. Maybe Chicago. Chicago's got some good things on the horizon, but
they have hope.
If I'm Minnesota or Detroit, I'm a little upset.
Yeah. Listen,
how you feeling about this division?
The division as a whole, I think, is very intriguing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of storylines, a lot of things that I want to see play out. You know what I mean? And like, it's specifically starting with the team that we are talking about. I kind of enjoyed looking into the Lions a little bit, Drew. I'm gonna be honest with you. The big key, obviously, Jared Goff. But once we'll get to the offense in a second. I mean, let's make no qualms about it. The Lions had a great draft. I'm sorry. Them boys had a great draft. I loved it. Listen, they were 5 deep, starting with arguably the best overall prospect in the draft, Drew, and Penei Sewell. Taking him, getting Jared Goff, I think is going to be elite help. You know what I'm saying? How you feel about Penei, bro?
I think I wanted him. You know what I mean? I definitely wanted the Panthers to take him. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with our first round pick. But if we drafted Sewell, I was going to be ecstatic as well. I think he's going to be a game changer for years to come. I just hope he's not that star O-lineman on a crap team.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you would really hate to see the Joe Thomas. You hate to see a Joe Thomas, but that's why everybody loves Joe Thomas. Like, you know what I mean? So
he stuck it out for years.
And he's a legend. From first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. But getting back to the Lions though, listen, Penei Sewell, obviously we just talked about. Levi Onwuzurike. Good pick.
I was waiting for you to say that first.
Good pick. My favorite pick of their draft, to be honest with you, a man who played college ball in the city that I currently live in, Raleigh, North Carolina, Aleem McNeil. Aleem McNeil is going to surprise some people, man. I'm telling you, like, he will surprise some people. Coming back in round 3 with their second round 3 pick in getting Ifeatu Melifonwu of that family. And there's already been reports of Amon-Ra St. Brown doing exactly what he needs to do and balling out. And honestly, I had heard about this earlier, but like he's a legacy player. Drew, he's a legacy player. Equimania St. Brown, their dad played in the league or something like that. So these boys knew what they like. They're very professional. That's what you've been hearing from him. So
I like
it. I like it.
They also weren't slouches in the free agency market. Of course, they traded for Goff. They picked up tight end Fells. They picked up Jamal Williams from Green Bay.
Yes.
They got Perryman. They got Brockers to help.
They traded for Brockers. Yeah. They traded for Brockers. That was interesting. Or you want to go defense first? Shit, we already talking about them.
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. So
switch it up.
I guess. Bit. Yeah. So it looks like they're in what lo and behold, I forgot about this when I was doing my research. Aleem McNeil is already penciled in as a starter right now. So
look at that.
Already penciled in, right? Already penciled in. But I kind of like what I see from them. And what I love is that they actually they brought in the Aquara brothers. So I already liked Romeo Aquara, and you know what I'm saying, like Julian Aquara is already there. So I like their edges, and
well, brothers playing together work out pretty well. You know what I mean?
It usually does,
especially on defense.
It usually does. What I want to see from them, because they were a bad defense last year. I figure the cornerbacks have to be better in year 2, right, Drew? Like they have to be better.
Yeah. I'm the biggest Okudah fan, and my man does absolutely have to stay. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay on the field.
He does, and I mean, like, put it point blank, he's got a ball better. So, like, I want the two cornerbacks to grow up a little bit and be better in the second year. You hope that's off the top gonna happen. The linebackers though, like the linebackers are average to solid, but Anzalone's got to stay healthy first and foremost if he's going to give this team what they wanted when they brought him in. You know what I'm saying? Like coming over from the Saints. They have some pieces here. They have some pieces. Maybe not a lot of depth, but they have some pieces.
Right. Well, let's move on over to the offense because I wrote down. I think they had a lot of guys that have been counted out.
Yeah. They
got Goff. You remember Williams, the wide receiver from the Raiders a couple of years ago that had
Tyrell.
Some good catches.
I remember. I don't know why. I just remember him from the Chargers more so than anything. And I know he went to the Raiders, but whenever he made his bones, that's where he was playing. And then he kind of fizzled out when he went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Brashard Perryman, Darren Fells, all these guys have just been kind of and they wound up together in Detroit. And I don't know if you smell the Disney movie that I smell, but these guys could catch some people off guard.
I think, and I'm trying to spit the sentence out, but I don't think you could have put it better, Drew. You really couldn't have put it better because when I see the collection of talent that these guys have, you kind of root for them. I mean, they obviously talking about the offense, the running back room is solid. DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, I love that 1-2 punch. It's solid but the crazy thing about it is Jared Goff he's got some talent around him. He still has some talent around him. So it's really all up to him. I think this team goes as he goes. Is he the guy? And I don't know about you, Drew, but he's got a great chance to prove it. What you think?
And I mean, we're talking about Jared Goff like he didn't lead his team to the playoffs. You know what I mean? He didn't play in a Super Bowl already.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we threw this guy to the side because Matt Stafford came out of nowhere. Chiseled chin, I'm the guy in LA. But I mean, Goff has had success.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what the thing is he talking about his chance to prove it. He gets to prove it because a lot of people said that success was all on everybody else and maybe not him, so to speak. So he gets the chance to prove if it was him, if he was actually a good part of what the Rams have experienced the last couple of years. So a nice collection of talent here, man. I mean, overall, but
well, you're my O-line guy. So what's the line look like?
Listen, yeah, I mean, Frank Ragnow is a guy. Frank Ragnow's my guy. He is my guy. Taylor Decker is also solid. What I want to see is I already think I am a person who thinks Penei Sewell is going to ball. I think he very well has a chance to be the offensive lineman on the team who sucks. I think he's going to be that good. And not only that, but you got him paired next to the wily vet and Vaitai, who can give you some really good things. Not great with speed, but he's on the inside, so like he's getting more power than anything. Hopefully, but
okay,
I think they'll protect better than a lot of people think, bro. Honestly,
good. Because I want to see Swift and Williams kind of go off a little bit, man.
Yeah. Swift's got to stay healthy. I mean, yeah. But he's got a chance.
Williams too. Williams had a couple games he missed here and there. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Matt, have you during this time, kind of looking at the schedule here and the season outlook, how many times have you looked at a team and gotten excited about them, but then seen their schedule and you're like, ooh? A
lot, because that's what's happening right here. That's what's happening right here with the Detroit Lions.
I was pumping myself up with this team, talking about all these guys, the underdogs, the chips on the shoulder. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I got them going 2-15.
Oh, wow. Well, listen, I mean, everybody always thinks that the Lions are going to be garbage. And, I mean, like, when I first I looked at last year, they won 5 games last year. How quickly we forget that team won 5 games. So I'm saying I got them actually going 5-12 again. I have them in the first year, with the new head coach, but 5-12. I think they're going to eke out some games because they will shock some people and be better. Not get the first round pick, which may piss a lot of people off, but y'all got 5 wins coming at you, baby. 5 wins.
That's fine. I don't need my boy Howell playing in Detroit. I don't need that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you don't want his career to die. You want to see that man ascend to the heavens, baby.
All right, moving on. Next up, we got the Minnesota Cousins. Vikings. The team that Kirk Cousins, they're relying on that dude. And their whole season is in his hands.
Yeah. And a lot, too, bro. A lot. Kirk, I've been calling him Kirk O'Bangs. He officially, to me, is Kirk COVID. That's who he is. The way that he been messing around with his antics this offseason. He is now Kirk COVID.
You see he'd play in a plexiglass wall? That's what he said he would do.
After this all season, there's a lot of things that he would probably do that I didn't think he would do. But listen, we're gonna get into this whole team because hold on, let me come back in.
Nah, you're good. That actually fit pretty good.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, we'll get. Hold on, 3, 2, 1. We'll get into the whole team, man. But I think they are primed for a dip. I just don't know, Drew. I just don't know. We'll get into it.
Well, they went 7-9 last year, so we'll see.
Oh, maybe not. Stay tuned.
All right, let's get into the draft. They got Darrisaw, the tackle, with in the first round. Didn't have a second round pick. Came back with quarterback Kellen Mond in the 3rd, and then got my boy Chaz Surratt, the linebacker, also in the 3rd.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this draft?
Honestly, I like their draft. I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the biggest Darrisaw fan, but I do like Kellen Mond. Obviously, we talked about this before. Chris Sims was very high on that man coming out in the draft. I want to see what that experiment is like, and honestly, even if they can get homegrown talent in Mond and he can be the guy, I don't even think they care about the financial losses from Kirk Cousins, because like now you have a guy that you paid nothing for, basically. Like, that's a sunk cost, you know what I'm saying? So if Kellen Mond's the guy, I think it works out perfectly. But Chaz Surratt, I really liked him coming out of the draft. He was one of my guys. Underrated player in Wyatt Davis, who was really good in 2019 from Ohio State. Good lineman there. Patrick Jones, another good pick there. So overall, I like their draft, Drew. I did.
I mean, well, they definitely need that spice of fresh faces in Minnesota, kind of shake things up a little bit. You saw what Jefferson was able to do last year as a rookie,
right?
But they went out and got some interesting pieces in the offseason. Brought in tackle Richardson.
Yeah, he comes back. Got
Breeland, the cornerback.
Got Breeland. Got Pat P.
Got Peterson. Got Tomlinson too, defensive tackle.
Yeah, Dalvin Tomlinson. He's. I mean, it's a good signing overall. But I'm not the hugest Dalvin Tomlinson fan. Also, picked up D.D. Westbrook as well. So they had some sneaky good moves. Obviously, I love their coach Mike Zimmer too, Drew.
Yep, I understand that.
Yeah. So, I think that with the draft, with the free agency period, I think it could be interesting. But again, I'm not the hugest Kirk Cousins fan. I'm saying? He has
quarterback we trust, right?
It's
just like Miami. I want to pull for Miami, but I'm not a Tua fan.
Yeah.
I want to pull for Minnesota because I love their wide receivers. I love Dalvin Cook, but
Yeah. Now let's go ahead and get into it, man. Talking about the offense. Obviously, we talked about Kirk Cousins while in this offseason, but listen, is Dalvin going to play 17, Drew? Is Dalvin Cook going to play all 17 games?
No.
Right. And the
if
problem
he could,
is
he might win MVP. You know what I mean? But he's not going to.
That's a very good observation. It's a very good observation. And if he doesn't, that's not only that, that's the question that we're going to ask every year. But they don't really have a lot behind him. Like Alec Madison, like Abdullah, he can't really stay healthy either. And they got a draft pick in there, but apparently he's coming off an injury. Listen, talking about moving along to the wide receivers, the other weapons on the group. Justin Jefferson obviously gave you what he gave you last year, but I want to see him sustain that. Drew,
there's tape out now.
Tape out, people will scheme for him. Do you think he goes through a sophomore slump?
I think he doesn't if Adam Thielen can stay on the field.
That's very true.
Because they can just straight up key in on him if Thielen's not on the field. Because what else do they have? You know what I mean? But if Thielen, one of them's going to be open. You know what I mean? So they can't cover all of them. So
and that's the question I have. You talking about Thielen? That's the question I had. I mean, looking at his stats, he's only had 2 years above 1,000 yards. And one was the year before that he had 900. Last year he had 900. He played 15 games last year, so he was healthy. He missed one game. But and I don't know if he was
a decoy. I feel like a couple of those games.
That's why I was just getting ready to say that. Good point, man. Good point, because who knows if he was playing through something as well. But he's also getting up there. Is this the down?
I feel like it's been his feet. Hadn't it been his feet that's been the problem?
And that's the worst thing you could have for a wide receiver, is it not?
It ended Olsen. It ended Olsen's career. You know what I mean?
Ended Carl Nick's career. You know what I'm saying? Countless others. But is this downturn for Adam Thielen? He's got to prove it again, and he's been proving it that he's a great player when he's at his peak. But he's got to prove it again. He's got to do it, man. So
yeah. Well, how does this offensive line look to you, bringing Richardson back?
Listen, I mean, they should be better with Darrisaw, but how much? I don't know. I'm looking at them. I like Ezra Cleveland, but and Brian O'Neill's been consistent, if somewhat solid, but largely unimpressive to me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Obviously, and Dalvin Cook is a special player. And they can get it in the run game. I wonder what Darrisaw brings, but they're another, as a unit, they got to prove it.
It's fair enough. Well, man, kind of moving to this defense, right. They got some names. They got some names on this defense, man. Holy crap!
They do.
Defense looks scary.
They do.
On paper.
Right. Gotta have that caveat. And that's the first question that I wrote down is can Zimmer reclaim a top defense? Because they were bad last year. There's really no way to get around that. You know what I mean? They were just bad.
Yeah.
I know you love I love. How you feel about the secondary though, Drew?
Dude, you kidding me? Breeland, Smith, Woods, Peterson. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And put it this way, I know what Breland. I'm not specifically talking about Breland, but like, is Pat P? Is he going to a better scheme? Yes, I think for him at this stage in his career, maybe not having to play as much man, but like, is Pat P going to give you what you think you're getting in Pat P? Like, he's also got to prove it this year. Yeah, I hope.
I think he's got a couple more years in him.
Oh, definitely.
I think he played just in Arizona last year. I think he just didn't care at all.
Okay, I hope so.
But if Minnesota loses some games, does he give you the same thing in Minnesota?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm not sure, but I hope for his sake, like especially for the secondary sake, especially Harrison Smith back there, Xavier Woods, like you said. Talking about the linebackers, Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr are solid. As a tandem, they're very solid.
I wish I had those two on my team. That duo, I love it.
Yeah. Now, we talked about the back seven, and that's exactly what I wrote down. Like, the back seven strength of the defense, but like, what is the defensive line going to give you? Because it wasn't a lot last year. They got Ngakoue for a spell. They had him on layaway. They brought in
and
his
that could have hurt him.
Yeah,
the inconsistency of the personnel.
True. That's very true. That's true. You know what I'm saying? But they need more from him.
Look at me giving Minnesota the benefit of the doubt. Get out of here.
You traditionally hate Minnesota.
Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, you traditionally hate Minnesota. Ugh. Yeah. But overall, I think they'll be solid. You know what I'm saying? But if they can give you a pass rush, then sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? Sky's the limit for the defense. Because I don't believe in Kirk Cousins, man.
Super Bowl.
I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. It's just he just doesn't do it for me.
No.
He just doesn't do it. And that's the crazy thing about it is, you want to know the crazy thing about Kirk Cousins is his numbers suggest he is actually a very solid quarterback.
I just hate him so much.
We gave you something. I said he was a solid quarterback. I admit that his numbers.
Okay.
No,
all right. You're right.
Okay. No. We gonna feel like we feel, Drew. We gonna feel like we feel. That was for the Vikings fans who watched the show. We are truthful here. We are a truthful tandem. We just gave you Kirk Cousins is actually a solid quarterback. Is what I'm saying.
And they're lying to themselves if they're Minnesota fans and actually like that guy as their quarterback. So
I don't even have anything to say.
Please leave us a message. I don't care what platform, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Please, if you are truly, in your heart of hearts, a Kirk Cousins fan, please make me a little short video explaining why.
Yes.
I just want to hear why.
We'll play that shit. I mean, because what is it that he gives you? What is it about Kirk Cousins that makes you a believer? Like, we want to know.
I want to know. I want to know. All right. Well, what do you think of this outlook? What do you think of the schedule? How they're gonna end up this year?
Well, listen, I did not look at last year's Minnesota schedule to kind of get any kind of feel for them. I just looked at their schedule, kind of predicted the games this year. So I say all that to say it was news to me when I found out that they won 7 games. Because I remember the Bucs were right in the thick of it, and it was kind of toward them.
They were hanging in there till the end,
right? Right, yeah. And the Bucs game was kind of the linchpin in both of our seasons. But they won 7 games. I got them winning one more, Drew. As down as I am on the Vikings, I actually, ironically, have them winning one more game. So 8-9 for me. 8-9.
Well, I don't like them, so they're going 6-11.
Ooh, that is ugly. That's ugly.
Yeah, I'm just down on this division as a whole, except for like one team maybe.
Oh, I mean I can't even say that that's not news. I was trying to leave a little surprise. For the fans out there.
Well, I mean,
but
the Lions just don't have the people yet. The Vikings have a terrible quarterback. This next team we're going to talk about, I don't think they have a good coaching staff. So that's why I can't exactly go all in on them.
Yeah.
It's the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears.
They went 8-8 last year, snagged a wild card spot, but we all know how that turned out.
Yeah.
Couldn't even beat the Saints.
Yeah. Listen, man. Bears are. They got hope.
Yeah.
You know?
They do have hope as soon as this coach gets fired.
I want to know who they bring. Because, I think the Bears are a franchise who, when they have vacancy, whenever they do have a coaching vacancy, they are a legacy franchise, so they'll always have people interested in coming there. You know what I'm saying? So,
here's my whole thing.
It's not hard to attract great talent.
I know I was a big proponent of this guy going to Houston, but we see what all kind of crap that turned into. But I think the shoe fits the same way in Chicago as it did in Houston for this Eric Bieniemy, man. Working with Justin Fields,
how? I mean,
I hate to be that broken record, but come on.
Yeah, we have done. We have beat the Eric Bieniemy train to death. I mean, we have been pounding that rock forever on this show. Shout out to Eric Bieniemy, but getting back to the Bears specifically, bro. After their first 2 picks, Justin. Now, obviously, if Justin Fields works out, your draft is the greatest draft. You know what I'm saying? But aside from their second pick, who I love, Tevin Jenkins, it's my guy.
Yeah.
He's my guy. He's my guy.
It did hurt. They didn't have a 3rd or 4th rounder, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's going to take some stock out.
It is.
But
it is.
I don't sleep on Newsome, man. I know I'm a Tar Heel diehard, and this is my school, and I'm supposed to say that, but my man had some exciting plays in college. So just give him a chance. I mean, it's not like they're overflowing in the wide receiver department, you know?
Yeah. Well, they're just hoping that they hit another home run because obviously they got Tariq Cohen from a school in North Carolina, electrifying small player. You know what I'm saying? So that maybe Daz knew they can hit on those picks twice though. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So that's what they're hoping, but
they didn't astonish you in the draft game. They didn't really astonish me in the free agency game. They picked up Peters.
Right.
They picked up Marquise Goodwin. That might be okay if he can somewhat turn into what he was in San Francisco that 1 year. You know?
That's exactly, man. And I think talking about it, let's just move on right into the offense because you teed me up talking about the offensive line and talking about the wide receiver room. I mean, they brought in Jason Peters, but it ain't the Jason Peters we remember.
Yeah.
It ain't the Jason Peters.
There was a reason he was a free agent up until right now.
And he was disaster in Philly. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of on his, I don't want to say he was on his last leg, but he ain't the guy anymore. But you bring him in and are you're starting him at left tackle, so especially if you're running Justin Fields out there, you need to make sure that man is up to the task, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure he's up to the task. Make sure
he knows he's going to be running.
Yeah. So, listen, they can pound the Andy Dalton train if they want to. And Nick Foles is on the roster, so they can get some trade. They can trade Nick Foles and maybe look for that to happen somewhat before the trade deadline if somebody feels a little froggy or gets desperate because they can easily get a pick for that. But Drew, how you feel about the running back room? What you think about the running backs though?
I think Montgomery needs to bounce back, man. My man, he quietly had 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. But
wow,
as someone
quietly
that I had on his I had him on my fantasy team, and just trust me, he was more frustrating than he was successful last year.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I got you.
He's got to be the workhorse because you're not going to throw Tariq out there and let him run up between the tackles. You know, so
not for a whole season. Yeah.
Montgomery. We saw that clip. I don't know where he was like, "Coach, can we put pads on?" It was like day 1 of camp, and Coach was like, "No, man." He's like, "Come on, I want to hit somebody." Cool, man. Show that in the season.
Right. Yeah. Now I'm with you on that. I ain't getting out there with those boys. Now I'll be dead very shortly. But no, talking about just getting into the offense, the wide receivers. Darnell Mooney apparently has been doing his damn thing in camp. Really look for an ascension from him. Allen Robinson, franchise player. I love Allen Robinson. He is one of the best receivers in the league. But talk about a guy who like doesn't get me super excited. Like it's Allen Robinson.
Does he
like
care about being there? Like he might get hyped because Fields is there, but
yeah,
I was for sure my man was on the way out of town.
Maybe he thought he was too. But that's the thing is like he's still gonna ball because that's what he has to do. But like he doesn't. He's not one of my top wide receivers in the league, but he's a damn good player. But him and Darnell Mooney, you talked about Marquise Goodwin earlier, Drew, and that's what they need him to be. You hit the nail on the head. They need him to be a guy that they brought in to be a dangerous number 3. He's got to give it to you consistently.
Yeah. And I mean, they brought in Damiere Byrd too. From like, it seemed like he was Cam's only target in New England last year.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Maybe he could be a little help because they got Kemet and Graham in the tight end game. Solid.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, okay. So talking about the tight ends, like Graham was, the one that was making the highlights last year for me for the Bears. From what I saw, is this Cole Kmet's year? Is this his year? Like, or are they looking for a tight end in the 2022 draft? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think we're going to find out. I think they need to know that. But I also think they need to let Graham kind of, like, he had a bounce back year a little bit last year. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like,
yeah.
He's going to be on the field too. So, I mean, True. I don't know. With that many wide receivers at their disposal, I don't know how many times both tight ends are going to get on the field at the same time unless it's a goal line situation kind of thing. So they got to make the most. He's got to make the most out of his opportunities. That is for sure.
For sure. Definitely. You couldn't have put it better. And that's why I say, like, Graham had almost a resurgence last year. Like, and if Jimmy Graham is giving you that as however old tight end, like this is his like third resurgence, you know what I'm saying, or third ascension, and you're a young guy in Cole Kmet that they drafted just a couple years back, you got to prove it if this dude's outshining you, or else you're replaceable. You know what I mean? So I want to see that from him. I want to see it from him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, kind of moving on, because we know this part of the ball probably isn't that big of a question mark. How do you feel about this defense, man? This Khalil Mack Hicks-led defense.
I mean, they're the strength of the team right now. But I have questions. I'm sorry, but I have questions. Listen, the front seven should be top 6 in the league again. They should be top 6 in the league. You got Khalil Mack. You know what he gives you. Akeem Hicks is one of the better 3-4 ends in the league. Eddie Goldman is a underrated workman-like favorite player of mine. He
had a really good year last year. I feel like his name was called a lot more in the highlights.
Yeah. He is in but so for the front seven, I think they'll be solid, but again, my questions are, Roquan Smith had a strong end to last year. He needs to keep that up because he was a guy who had underperformed for a pretty good right. He did. Danny and talking about the rest of their linebackers, Trevathan and Quinn didn't really have the year that they thought he was going to have as well. So, like, both of those guys are a year older. They need to prove it again. You know what I'm saying? And, like, for as good as the front seven can be, I am not sure about the cornerbacks. The safeties, I think, will be solid, but the cornerbacks, I don't know, bro.
Come on, Trufant doesn't do it for you?
I mean, not anymore. You know what I'm saying? He used to be a guy. But I want to see more. And they brought in your boy Artie Burns. Saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I ingest a little bit, but I want to see something from the cornerbacks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they got. I don't know what they have.
Well, talking this schedule, how do you think they fare going into this season?
I'll put it to you like this, bro. I got the Bears going 7-10. I got them boys going 7-10. Yeah. I think they definitely take a down slide this year. I'm not a huge believer, and with the coaching staff on the hot seat, maybe not on the hot seat if they can get things right. It just looks like a kind of a tumultuous situation in my eyes. But I think I think Fields will be fine though. I think he'll be fine.
I got him going 8-9, so I'm right there with you.
Right, yeah. So
right there with you.
Right, yeah. I don't think that.
I think this defense maybe gets him an extra game here and there.
Yeah. Because I just don't think the offense will do it, especially like if you wind up starting. We talked about doing rookie things last week or in this week, but if you start Fields, he's going to be inconsistent sometimes. Like, it's just going to happen. So
yeah, it is what it is.
Yep.
But how many wins do they have to win for him, the coaching staff, to keep their job?
I think 9 at the floor. At the floor, 9 wins.
We got him not reaching that goal.
Yeah, no. So that means he's out, because I mean, I think if you get 9 wins in this type of situation, either Andy Dalton's balling or Justin's balling, but something's obviously not clicking to put you over the top. But if you get 9 wins, with the rookie quarterback at the helm, let's say, I think it earns you another year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last but definitely not least, we got the Green Bay Packers. Went 13-3 last year.
Got them packed.
Thought they were going to have to turn to Jordan Love as their QB of the future, but alas, Mr. Rodgers swoops in, calms the nerves of all the fans in Wisconsin, at least for this year. Who knows after next year?
They was nervous as hell.
I was nervous for him. I thought there was no way this man was coming back to play this year.
Yes, sir. I was very skeptical. But and that's the crazy thing. Like, we talked about this before, but like, I was like, way back in the offseason, I was like, he's gonna be back. And then like, I convinced myself that he was not coming back. You know what I'm saying?
See, I was the opposite. Early on, I was like, he'll be back.
Right.
Early on, I was like, there's no way he's gonna be back. There's no way. Like, my man is pissed.
Right.
And then all these little reports came out, and I was like, is this dude about to come back? I think this guy's about to come back.
Maybe you convinced me that he wasn't coming back.
I feel like it was weighing heavy on my heart, and I had to tell the world. Thought Aaron Rodgers was done in Green Bay. I thought I legit thought he was gonna sit out this year and be on like the Raiders next year out of nowhere or something.
Well, that's the thing, is like, it was so juicy because we all knew he was gonna play. Like, he wasn't retiring. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't happening. Yeah.
I love how that's where they went right before they said he was coming back. They're like, he might retire. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, well, he would have retired if he didn't get what he want from the Packers, but he wasn't going to retire from playing football. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
That wasn't happening. So,
nah. He might retire for the 2021 year, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Talking about his draft a little bit, though. Listen, I wasn't a huge fan of their draft. I mean, and Gutekunst, for as much as Aaron Rodgers hates him, kind of been hitting it out the park. But listen, I do like Eric Stokes. I think Amari Rodgers, I forgot that they picked him up. I think it'll be a sneaky good pick.
Yeah.
And then like more of a name, kind of an underrated guy, but Kylan Hill, their 7th round pick at running back. But other than those guys, I wasn't a huge fan of their draft, to be honest with you.
Do you think Myers starts early on, or is he a future?
No, I think like he might start, bro. Like he might start. Well, because and largely because they lost some pieces on that offensive line, though. You know what I'm saying? Like they lost them.
Nothing endears your veteran quarterback like losing his offensive line.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as it's been kumbaya for a little bit now, but I imagine that Aaron's probably not too high on that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that turns out.
He got one of his, I guess, contractual demands. They brought in, they got his old wide receiver back. They brought in Cobb, traded the Texans for him.
Yeah, I want to know what this Randall Cobb is going to give you. Like, is he going to fit back in and like ball out like he did when he was in Green Bay?
I hope it's like he never left Green Bay, because that duo was pretty good.
It was very good. It was very good. And like I just have questions about that. Like, how is he going to fit in the rotation? Because honestly, for as much as Aaron Rodgers has been like somewhat ho-hum on the receiver core, these guys have gotten him to these championship games.
They've worked
you know what I'm saying?
him.
So like, and obviously we're not talking about Adams. We're talking about the other guys. You know what I mean? Like,
because who does he take reps from? Does he take reps from Valdez-Scantling, or is Lazard the odd man out?
Well, and then like honestly, your boy Devin Funchess had a great catch the other in the game. So is he a guy who's coming up, or like I want to see what Amari Rodgers does? Yeah, I want to see what Amari Rodgers does. So and you got the tight end Tanyan who came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I was thinking of the other day. Is like, don't get me wrong, I've been Team Rodgers during this the whole time,
right?
But for a man that says he doesn't have a lot around him, he's got a lot around him. You got one of the top 5, arguably, running backs. You got top 3 wide receiver. Tanyan's no slouch at tight end. You got a good supporting cast.
Yeah.
Like, are you just mad at the defense? And in that case, why are you upset that they're using first-round picks on the defense every year then?
I mean, speak your truth, man. Speak your truth.
It's the only thing that bugs me a little bit about it, you know?
I'm with you. There was a lot of questions to Aaron Rodgers questions though. You know what I mean? Like, because the team is producing around you. And listen, talking about we talked about the wide receivers, solid if not what above average guys. And of course you have one of the elite guys in Devontae Adams. Randall Cobb's coming back. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think you definitely see more A.J. Dillon.
Big Dillon.
That's my
fan.
boy. Yeah. I think you see more him in year 2. And not only that, but Jamal Williams is not there anymore, so they're leaning on him. There was a rotation before. There's going to be a rotation again. They want to get Dillon more work. Tunion's a stud. The offensive line, they lost Corey Lindsley, and who was the other guy? They lost Kirksey. They lost Wagner. Released, I want to say, or something like that. But now you have Bakhtiari's obviously still there. He's a stud, but like he's coming off an injury.
He's got to stop chugging at these Bucks games, man. Get back into football season shape.
I mean, it's off season, baby. It's the off season. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He was off season hard.
Well, and the crazy, I think, who was that? His dad with him? Was that his dad with him?
Probably.
The old guy who chugged it?
Probably.
Dad was going hard though. Dad chugged the beer. I think Dad got a bigger ovation than Bakhtiari because like he was next up. You know what I mean?
You don't turn into an NFL offensive lineman if your dad doesn't chug a beer every now and then. You know what I mean? So
yes, put that in the resume. Like is your dad a cool beer chugging dude? Check. All right, come on. Like, yeah, we are ruling you out if you don't have that. But like getting back to the offensive line, Elgin Jenkins, good player, but you talked earlier, bro. You talked about Josh Myers. He is penciled in as the starting center right now. So like,
I mean, if you use a 2nd-round pick on him and he's from Ohio State, you got to.
Yeah, but the crazy thing about Myers is like he was solid at offensive at Ohio State, but he wasn't like let's get this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
he might have been a beneficiary of the team. Solid, but not spectacular. You know what I'm saying? So now you got him starting, and that connection's got to get well fast with a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Coming in being your starting center. If that is indeed how it works out. So
I like it. Well, how do you feel about this defense? Because they improved a lot towards the end of the year last year, just not enough.
Yeah.
They get another year in off season together. I think Alexander's a defensive player of the year candidate. In the secondary, you got the Smith brothers who bounced back a little bit last year after a rough start. How you feel about these pieces?
Yeah. Listen, man, Jair's. I mean, they like him and the rest of the secondary. They still boast one of the best secondaries in the league, hands down. Like hands down. Those 4, with Kevin King, who got roasted in the playoffs last year, still top notch. They bring in Devondre Campbell as well. But I'll be honest, bro. Like the Smith brothers, they didn't really show up when they needed to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in those Bucks games, Tom Brady was clean as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do all you want to do in the regular season, but you got to do it when it's time. And in the big games too. Obviously, they were 13-3, so they did enough. But like when they needed it, they weren't there. So like, if they're gonna go over the top, you got to have a pass rush, and they didn't show up when they needed to. That's all I'm saying. But I do like them as an overall unit. Plus the front three, like locked down by your boy Kenny Clark. So
Kenny. Well, how you feel about the schedule? Because I don't think they're going to have too much trouble with this regular season.
I don't either, but I definitely have them taking a step back. I got them going 11-6. I got them going 11-6. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, I've been pretty ho-drum about this whole division so far, but I got them staying status quo. I got 14-3.
Ooh, 14 wins.
Everyone's talking about my man Aaron Rodgers is going to take a step back this year after his MVP season last year. I think he's going to put the foot on the gas pedal. I think we're going to see a different Aaron Rodgers than we've even seen before. I think my man is just smiling on the inside, and on the outside, or on the outside and on the inside, he's like, these motherfuckers, they want to play games? Okay. All right. Because I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most petty men in the world, and I think we're going to see it, and I think he's going to step on some of these teams' throats.
Yeah, that's a very good take. And honestly, I would not be surprised. His petty can get them 14 wins, Drew. I don't think you're wrong about that at all. Like, that can definitely happen. And like he can do that with lesser players than what he has right now, I think. Just because
and he's got Cobb
his pay
back.
level.
We don't know what he's going to get. I just think they're a better team than they were last year.
Okay, so like let's talk about it before we get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they take a step back because of all of the drama. Like, because of all the drama, all eyes are going to be on them, and that's why I think, mixed in with maybe the pass rush maybe not getting there like they really needed to be, in my opinion, throughout the playoffs.
I think it's going to be fuel. Jet fuel.
All right, let's see it. I mean, time will tell, and we will be front and center to watch it.
We're right around the corner, and I'm ready for it.
Yes, let's go.
All right, well, how you got the NFC North shaping out?
I still, even at 11-6, I have the Packers winning the division, getting in the playoffs, and that's all you need. Like 11 wins, 14 wins, whatever you got, you get in, you got shot. I have the Packers followed up by the Minnesota Vikings, Bears, and then the Detroit Lions with the status quo 5 wins again in 2021. Drew, how is it shaking out for you, bro?
I got same number 1, same number 4, but I got the 2 in the middle flip-flop. I got Packers, Bears, Vikings, Lions.
Okay. Yeah, Bears stepping it up for you. Oh, Bears fans are going to go off.
Yeah, I think this defense is really good. I think that gets them some wins, and I think, when it's all said and done, we could say that Fields had, like that Herbert kind of year. You know what I mean? Where we were like, man, he was pretty good. So
yeah,
we'll see. I wasn't a believer in Fields early on. You can watch any of the previous episodes, but his demeanor and his staying collected, and from what the small sample that I've seen of him, I'm choosing instead of, I'm not jumping on the Fields bandwagon, so to speak, but I'm all right. I'm hopeful. He's turned to me. He's got my attention in a more positive way than before the draft.
And that's off one game. That's press conferences in one game, training camp.
And he's
reports.
had some pretty good. Like I've seen some of the tape from practices and things like that, and he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, so stay tuned. I want to see it too, because that makes things very intriguing in the NFC North if you have a second quarterback. You know what I'm saying? For as many years as Aaron Rodgers has left there this year, basically, who's going to be the next guy? Justin Fields he's stepping right up.
Yeah,
so
and don't get me wrong, I'm very down on the Lions, but I'm pulling for him. You know what I mean? I'm pulling for him. Yes. I want them to win, but I don't think they're going to. We got 1 week left. One more division, one more team, 4-team breakdown. Next week, we will talk AFC North. We've saved arguably one of the better divisions for last. We got Browns through the roof the last few years. We got the Steelers maybe on the decline. We got the best running back, quarterback in the game in Baltimore. And then we got a returning Joe Burrow in Cincy. So I'm excited to dig into the AFC North next week, finishing off our season preview. Then the next week we are going to break the whole thing down, give you our playoff teams, our MVP predictions, the whole shebang, get you ready for week 1.
Yeah. Sell it. I love it. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward, and we got some fantasy advice. Not from us, from our champion. We got some fantasy advice, not from us. Analysis from us, always what you want. But we got a lot of things coming up, man. So Drew, I can't wait. But until then, let the people know where they can find your content, bro.
Check me out, DrewHarrisonComedy.com. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube page below. Get all that content. Hit me up on Instagram at LaughWithHarrison. Shawn, what about you?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter. At the 3, 2, 1. At the Kid Suds on Twitter. At nickel_dom FB on Twitter, and at the illustrious nickel_dom football on IG. Hit us up, DM, any platform, messages, like, share, subscribe. Drew, we need it. We gotta get it.
We're calling all Kirk Cousin fans. Plead your case.
Kirk COVID.
We'll see you next week.